cable splice on suspension 47B has been making that sound for 3 weeks now. Not a creak, more like a hum. 14,000 pounds per square inch tension, give or take, and the thing's singing. I'm standing there with my Fluke thermal imager, the TIS-75 model, $1,500 the city finally approved last March, pointing it at the cable housing where it meets the main span. Temperature's fine. Stress distribution looks normal. But it's humming. I don't like it. 22 years inspecting this bridge, and I've never heard that exact frequency before. Dad, can we go? Julian's sitting on the maintenance platform railing, which he's not supposed to do, legs swinging over a 200-foot drop to the East River. He's 12. Thinks he's invincible because his old man walks steel for a living. You said pizza at Grimaldi's. You promised. 2 more minutes. I'm checking the cable again. The reading's the same. Everything's normal. Everything's fine. But my phone buzzes. Text from dispatch. All inspection teams report to Manhattan Anchorage. Immediate. That's wrong. We don't get immediate calls at 3:47 p.m. on a Thursday. Maintenance schedules run 6 months out. The only time I've seen that word was during Hurricane Irene, and that was 12 years ago, and Julian wasn't even born yet, and I'm already moving toward the access ladder. Dad, change of plans. We're heading to the Anchorage, but you promised. Julian. Now, he hears it in my voice. Comes off the railing without arguing. Good kid. Smart kid. Gets that from his mother, not me. Veronica always said I was too stubborn to be smart, which is probably why she married someone from Deloitte instead of staying with the guy who smells like rust and WD-40. But that's not important right now. Focus. We're climbing down the access ladder, me first, Julian behind, the way I taught him, when my phone rings. Dispatch again. Weiss, you on the bridge? Maintenance platform 7, eastbound deck. What's going on? Stay there. Don't go to Manhattan side. Repeat. Do not approach Manhattan Anchorage. You just told me to report to. Ignore that. New orders. We're sealing the bridge. Both ends. You need to get off now. Brooklyn side only. I'm still climbing down. Julian's 3 rungs above me. The traffic below is normal cars, delivery trucks, that one guy on the electric skateboard who crosses every day around this time wearing the Rangers jersey. Everything looks normal. Sealing it for what? There's been an incident. Manhattan. Just get your son and get off the bridge. Use the pedestrian walkway, fastest route to Brooklyn. Do it now. She hangs up. An incident. That means nothing. That means gas leak, structural failure, terrorist threat, sinkhole, electrical fire. The city has 86 official incident categories, and I've worked through 40 of them. But the way she said it, the way she said, get your son. We reached the deck level. I'm holding Julian's shoulder. Too tight, probably. But I'm seeing the pedestrian walkway and it's packed. It's 3:51 p.m. Rush hour doesn't start until 4:30. The walkway's never packed at 3:51. Dad, what's happening? We're walking home. Is the bridge breaking? No. The bridge is fine. The bridge is always fine. Roebling built this thing in 1883, and it's held 60,000 tons of traffic every single day since, and it's not breaking. It's humming on cable 47B, but that's just harmonics, just wind resistance creating resonance in the crowd on the walkway is running, not walking fast, running, full sprint, 300 people minimum, maybe more, coming from the Manhattan side toward Brooklyn. I can hear it now, not see it yet, but hear it. Screaming. Not panic screaming. Pain screaming. Julian's hand is in mine. When did I grab his hand? I don't remember grabbing his hand. Dad, stay with me. We're moving toward the Brooklyn Anchorage. Against the crowd. Everyone else is coming from Manhattan, and we're on the wrong side of the bridge, and I'm pushing through tourists with phones out filming something I can't see yet. And a woman slams into me, business suit, Burberry bag, blood on her sleeve. She doesn't stop, doesn't apologize, just keeps running. Dad, I turn around. The Manhattan side of the bridge is burning. Not the bridge, the city. 3 buildings I can see from here. Smoke columns going up like the towers did, like that day 23 years ago when I was working the Williamsburg and we all stopped and watched and knew everything was different now. But this isn't smoke. It's too dark, too thick, moving wrong, and the people coming across the bridge aren't running from fire. A man stumbles past us. His face is wrong. His jaw is wrong. His eyes there's too much white showing, like when Julian had that seizure at his 9th birthday party and we thought we'd lose him, that same wrongness, but this is different. This is worse. The man's throat makes a sound. Clicking. Not language. He lunges at a woman holding a laptop bag. I pull Julian behind me. The man and woman go down together on the pavement. The laptop bag spills open. Papers everywhere. A Tupperware container of something that might have been lunch rolling toward the suspension cables. The man is biting her neck, not attacking, not punching or strangling or any of the things you see in fights. Biting, his teeth in her throat. And she's screaming, and people are running around them, and Julian is behind me saying, "Dad, Dad, Dad," in this small voice I haven't heard since he was 6 and afraid of thunderstorms. The bridge is humming. I can feel it through my boots. Cable 47B singing its wrong note, and now the whole deck is vibrating just a little, just that harmonic frequency that happens when you get enough synchronized footfalls, like that bridge collapse in London in 2000, like the Tacoma Narrows, like every engineer's nightmare about resonance cascade. 15,000 people on this bridge right now. Maybe more. I'm looking at the Manhattan side, at the smoke, at the people still coming, at the woman on the ground who stopped screaming, at the man who's standing up again, his mouth red, his eyes wrong, at the police barricades going up on the Brooklyn side. No, they're not evacuation barricades. They're blockade barricades. The kind with the angled spikes. The kind that stops traffic from entering. Both ends of the bridge, sealed. We're trapped. That's the first thing I'm understanding. Really understanding. As I watch 2 NYPD cruisers pull across the Brooklyn entrance ramps at angles that mean nobody's getting through. The officers are wearing something on their faces. Not regular masks. Full respirators. The kind we use when we're working in the cable housings with the old lead paint. Dad, why are they quiet? I'm thinking. I'm not thinking. 15,000 people, maybe 20. 1.1 miles from Manhattan Anchorage to Brooklyn Anchorage. Average walking speed 3 miles per hour, but nobody's walking, everyone's running. So figure 5 miles per hour. That's 13 minutes to cross. We're at the 0.4 mile marker right now. I know every marker on this bridge, every rivet and cable number. Maintenance Platform 7 is 0.4 miles from Brooklyn side. 13 minutes for the crowd behind us to arrive. Maybe less if they're running from whatever that was. My phone is buzzing. Everyone's phone is buzzing. Emergency alert tone. The one that sounds like a garbage disposal eating a brick. Emergency alert. East River crossing sealed. Stay indoors. Julian is reading it over my shoulder. But we're not indoors. We're on the bridge. I know. So what do we? I'm thinking. The bridge deck is 85 feet wide. Pedestrian walkway 15 feet. Elevated 5 feet above the vehicle roadway. Right now the vehicle lanes are gridlocked. Cars stopped, drivers getting out. Everyone looking at their phones, at the smoke, at the barricades going up on both ends. Some of them are walking back toward Manhattan. Wrong choice. Whatever's happening is coming from Manhattan. Some of them are trying to ram the Brooklyn barricades. Also wrong. Those spikes will shred your tires and you'll be stuck there blocking the way for everyone else. The right choice, the only choice, is the pedestrian walkway. Elevated. Clear sight lines. Single direction of flow. And I know every access point, every maintenance ladder, every spot where the inspection crews can bypass the main deck if we need to. Because I'm the guy who inspects this bridge. I'm the guy who knows it better than anyone except maybe Torres, and Torres retired last year. And I'm the guy dispatch called because they needed someone on site when whatever this has happened. I'm the guy who can get us off this bridge. Julian, listen to me. We're going to the Brooklyn side. We're going to use Maintenance Access 3. That's the emergency ladder I showed you last month, remember? The one under the tower. The one you said I'm not allowed to use because it's department only? That one. We're using it. Stay close. Don't let go of my hand. Dad, what about everyone else? I look at the crowd. 300 people between us and Brooklyn. 5,000 people between us and Manhattan, and more coming, and some of them have that wrongness, that jaw-clicking, that a woman near us drops her phone. Not drops, throws, like it burned her. She's making that sound, that wet clicking sound. Now, we're going now. I'm pulling Julian toward the south cable, the one closest to the water, furthest from the main crowd flow. We're moving along the elevated walkway, and I'm watching the deck stress indicators as we go because that's what I do. That's what 22 years of this job has beaten into me. Stress indicator 12, normal. Stress indicator 13, normal. Stress indicator 14, reading high. That's wrong. The deck stress should be distributed across the entire span. That's how suspension bridges work. The cables carry the load, the towers transfer it to the anchorages, the deck just hangs there. But if 14's reading high, that means weight concentration, that means too many people in one spot, that means the crowd from Manhattan hits the midpoint of the bridge. I see it happening. For 1,000 people minimum, all converging on the same span section. The deck drops 3 inches. 3 inches is nothing on a bridge this size. The deck's designed to flex. Storm winds make it flex more than that. But this isn't wind. This is dynamic load, synchronized footfalls, resonance harmonics starting to build. The humming gets louder. Julian hears it. Dad, the bridge is. It's fine. Keep moving. We're at maintenance access 3. There's a locked gate, department personnel only, exactly like I told Julian. I have the key. I always have the key. The city gave me 12 keys when I started this job, and I've kept them all on the same Craftsman carabiner for 22 years. And I'm unlocking the gate now and pulling Julian through and locking it behind us because the crowd is coming. The ones from Manhattan. The ones who are running from something. And some of them have that wrongness, and I can't let them follow us down the maintenance ladder, because if they do, if they get on the structural access level, they could damage load-bearing components, they could compromise the cable anchorages, they could. A man slams into the gate. Business suit. Tie ripped half off. Normal eyes. Normal jaw. He's not infected or whatever this is. Let me through. I've got clearance. I work for the MTA. I've got. This ladder's rated for department personnel. 250-pound load limit. It won't hold a crowd. I don't care about a crowd. I care about. He sees something behind him. His face changes. Oh God. Oh Jesus Christ. Please. There's a woman walking toward him. Not running. Walking. Her mouth is red. Her eyes are wrong. She's making that clicking sound. I'm unlocking the gate. No, I'm not unlocking the gate. My hand is on the lock. Julian is watching me. The man is watching me. The woman is 20 feet away. 15 feet. 10 feet. The man screams. I lock the gate. We go down the ladder, me first, Julian after, the man screaming following us down into the structural cavity where the cables meet the tower, where it's dark and smells like rust and old paint, and the river, where nobody except maintenance crews ever goes. Dad, why didn't you? Load limit. 250. You heard me tell him. But you weigh 215 and I'm 93. So we could have. Julian. Not now. We're at the bottom of the ladder. The structural access level is a narrow walkway bolted to the tower's interior, running along the inside of the main cables. 18 inches wide. 100-foot drop on both sides down to the support struts. No railings because it's for maintenance only, because anyone down here is supposed to be wearing a harness and knows what they're doing. I'm not wearing a harness. Julian's not wearing a harness. And the bridge is still humming. Louder now. The harmonics are building. I can feel it in the walkway, that vibration that means too much dynamic load, too much synchronized motion, too much weight in the wrong places. My phone buzzes again. Emergency alert. New York under martial quarantine. Remain inside. Do not approach crossings. Martial quarantine. That's not an official emergency category. That's military language. Above us, Through the tower's maintenance access hatches, I can hear the crowd. Thousands of feet on steel and concrete. Screaming, that clicking sound. And under it all, the bridge humming its wrong note. Dad, how do we get to Brooklyn? We follow this walkway. It runs under the main deck all the way to the Brooklyn Tower. From there, we can use the emergency egress to the anchorage. 15 minutes, maybe 20. What about everyone else? They'll use the main walkway. But you said the bridge is vibrating wrong. It'll hold. Roebling built this thing to handle twice the design load. It's held everything we've thrown at it for 140 years. It'll hold this. I'm not sure I believe that. The humming is getting worse. Cable 47B is singing and now 46B is answering, and that means the harmonics are spreading through the cable array, and that means above us something crashes. Metal on metal, then more crashing. Car accident, maybe, or the crowd tipping over a vehicle, or gunfire, single shots, precise. From the Brooklyn side, then more gunfire. From the Manhattan side, they're shooting at the crowd. Julian stops walking. Dad, there. Keep moving. Don't look up. Watch your feet. This walkway's slippery. They're shooting people. They're trying to contain it. Whatever this is, the virus or parasite, or they're trying to stop it from spreading to Brooklyn. But we're trying to get to Brooklyn. We're under the bridge. They can't see us. We're fine, except we're not fine. Because the crowd above us is panicking now. I can hear it, and panic means stampede, and stampede means synchronized footfalls, means resonance cascade, means the deck drops again. Not 3 inches this time, 6 inches. I feel it through the tower structure, through the cables, through every stress point I've been monitoring for 22 years. The bridge is screaming now, not humming, screaming. Metal on metal, cables straining, rivets popping somewhere I can't see. And we're still 400 yards from the Brooklyn Tower. The walkway under my boots is vibrating like a tuning fork. That's not metaphor. I'm talking actual frequency resonance. The kind that builds until something gives. The cables above us are taking uneven load. I can see it in the angle of the suspender ropes, in the way they're not hanging quite vertical anymore. North side is bearing more weight than south side. That means the crowd is concentrating on the north pedestrian lane, probably because that's the side with less bodies, less blood, less of whatever the hell is happening up there. Julian's hand is gripping mine so hard his nails are cutting into my palm. Good. Means he's still with me, still thinking, not freezing up. Dad, the cables look wrong. They're fine. You told me never lie about structural integrity. You said that's how people die. Smart kid. Too damn smart. They're under uneven load. The bridge can handle it. We just need to keep moving. We're passing under the midpoint of the span. This is the section where the deck has the most flex, where the clearance between us and the East River is only 60 feet instead of the usual 90. I can smell the water now, that particular Hudson/East River mix of sewage and salt and diesel fuel that I've been smelling for 22 years. Below us, there's a DSNY garbage barge heading upriver. The operator is looking at the bridge, at the smoke coming from Manhattan, at the helicopters circling overhead, news choppers mostly, but there's 2 military Blackhawks in the mix now. The garbage barge operator is standing at his controls, not moving the barge, just staring. He knows what I know. This bridge is going to fall. Maybe not today, maybe not in an hour. But the resonance is building, the harmonics are wrong, and when you get synchronized load on a suspension bridge at the resonant frequency, eventually something gives. The Tacoma Narrows took 4 hours to collapse once the harmonics started. This bridge is older, heavier, better designed, but it's got 20,000 people on it right now, and some of them are fighting, and some of them are dying, and some of them are turning into those things with the wrong eyes and the clicking sounds. Above us, more gunfire. Then something heavier. That's not a handgun. That's rifle fire. 3-round bursts. Military cadence. They're killing everyone, Julian says. His voice is flat. Shock setting in. I've seen it before. Construction accidents. Guys who see their partner fall off scaffolding. That moment where the brain just stops processing emotion and goes into pure observation mode. They're trying to contain the infection, stop it from reaching Brooklyn, by killing everyone on the bridge, by stopping the infected from crossing. We're on the bridge. We're under the bridge. Different thing. Is it? He's looking at me now, 12 years old, asking me the question I'm already asking myself. Are we different? We were on the Manhattan side 20 minutes ago. We breathed the same air. We're crossing the same bridge as everyone else. The only difference is we're using the maintenance access instead of the pedestrian walkway, which means what? That we're somehow exempt from whatever quarantine protocol some colonel in Fort Hamilton decided on. My phone buzzes. Text from dispatch. Not a message, a system alert. The kind that goes to all department personnel simultaneously. Brooklyn Bridge closed indefinitely. All personnel evacuate immediately. Structure integrity compromised. Structure integrity compromised. That's department code for get off now before it falls. I look up through the maintenance access grating. Through the gaps, I can see the underside of the vehicle deck. There's a crack forming in the concrete near stress point 14. Hairline fracture, maybe 6 inches long. Nothing serious yet. But concrete doesn't crack unless something's wrong, unless the rebar inside is flexing too much, unless the load is exceeding design parameters. We're at 0.7 miles now. Brooklyn Tower is 0.3 miles ahead. The walkway narrows here, drops to 12 inches wide because this section runs right along the main cable housing, where there's less room for maintenance access. Julian is looking at the crack in the concrete. Dad, I see it. If the bridge falls, it's not falling. Keep walking. If it falls while we're under it, then we're in the best possible position. We're on the structural access level. We've got direct connection to the towers. We can climb if we need to. Climb where? Good question. The towers are 276 feet tall. They're made of granite and steel. They're designed to support the cables, not to be evacuation routes. There's maintenance access hatches every 50 feet, but those hatches open onto the main deck. And the main deck is where the shooting is, where the infected are, where someone is climbing down through the access hatch above us. Not using the ladder. Dropping. Just dropping 12 feet onto the walkway. Landing wrong. I hear the ankle break from here, that wet crack sound that means bones separating. It's a woman. Mid-30s maybe. North Face jacket with Manhattan Half Marathon printed on the back. Her face is normal. Her eyes are normal. But her mouth is red. And she's standing up on a broken ankle like it doesn't hurt. Like pain is something her body doesn't process anymore. She sees us. Makes that clicking sound. Go. I tell Julian. Run. But you said. Now. He runs. Good kid. Doesn't argue. Doesn't freeze. Just goes. I'm right behind him, and behind me the woman is coming. And she's fast. Too fast for someone with a shattered ankle. And the walkway is 12 inches wide with a 100-foot drop on both sides. She's gaining. I stop. Turn around. She's 6 feet away. 5 feet. For feet, I step to the side. She doesn't adjust. Doesn't slow down. Just keeps coming in a straight line like her brain only has one instruction. Forward, attack, bite. She goes past me. Over the edge. Straight down into the gap between the cables and the tower support strut. I don't hear her hit the water. Too far down. Too much noise from the crowd above. Julian is 20 feet ahead. Stopped. Watching me. Keep going. I tell him, you killed her. She was already dead. Whatever that virus is, you don't know that. She could have been. Move. We're moving again. Julian in front. Me behind. Both of us going as fast as we can on a 12-inch walkway with no railings. Above us, the gunfire has stopped. That's worse than when it was happening. Silence means either they've run out of targets or they've run out of ammunition. Either way, it means something's changed. The bridge lurches, not flex, lurch. The whole structure shifting left by maybe 3 inches. I feel it through my boots, through the cable housing, through every rivet and stress point. That's not resonance. That's structural failure. Something just gave way. Cable, suspension rope, anchor bolt. Something that was holding suddenly isn't holding anymore. My phone rings. Dispatch. Weiss, where are you? Under the main deck. Maintenance access. 0.7 miles from Brooklyn. You need to get off that bridge. Now, we're reading cascade failure in the north cable array. You've got maybe 10 minutes before. The call cuts out. Not dropped, cut. Like someone hit the kill switch on cell service. Like someone decided that whatever's happening on this bridge doesn't need to be coordinated anymore. Doesn't need communication, just needs to be contained. Dad, Julian is pointing up. Through the access grating, I can see the underside of the vehicle deck. The crack in the concrete has spread. It's not 6 inches anymore. It's 6 feet. Running along the entire length of stress point 14, right where I knew it would crack because that's the weakest point in this section. That's where the deck transitions from the suspended span to the approach span. And there's something coming through the crack. Dripping down. Dark. Too thick to be water. Blood. The crowd above us is dying. Thousands of people trapped between military barricades on both ends, between snipers and infected, and they're dying, and their blood is dripping through the stress cracks in the concrete, and I'm standing here calculating load distribution while people die. We have to help them, Julian says. We can't. We have to try. Julian, you always say we help people. That's what engineers do. We keep people safe. I keep you safe. That's my job. Keeping you safe. What about everyone else? What about everyone else? That's the question, isn't it? That's the thing I'm going to have to answer someday if we get off this bridge, if we make it to Brooklyn, if we survive the next 10 minutes. I'm looking at the crack, at the blood, and my son, at the Brooklyn Tower 300 yards ahead. If we keep going, we might make it. Probably make it. Use the emergency egress at the tower base, climb down to the anchorage, bypass the military barricade by using the department access tunnel that most people don't know exists. We'll be in Brooklyn in 15 minutes. Safe. Alive. But the bridge is failing. And there are people up there who don't know about the maintenance access hatches, who don't know about the emergency egress routes, who don't know that the deck is about to collapse under stress point 14. People I could warn. People I could guide to the structural access level, to the towers, to safety. People who might be infected. Who might turn while we're trying to save them. Who might kill my son while I'm trying to do the right thing. Dad, what do we do? The bridge lurches again. Harder this time. Something major just failed. I'm guessing the north cable at the 3/4 span. That's the next weakest point after stress point 14. When that goes, the load redistributes to the south cable, and the south cable is already taking uneven load, already stressed beyond design parameters. Cascade failure. That's what dispatch said. One thing fails, then another, each failure making the next one inevitable. I'm looking at my son, at the access hatch above us, at the Brooklyn Tower ahead. 10 minutes, dispatch said. I'm making a choice. I'm opening my toolkit. The Klein canvas bag I've carried every day for 22 years. Screwdrivers, wrenches, voltage tester, that Streamlight flashlight that costs $80 but actually works. And the emergency radio. Department issue Motorola, encrypted channel, backup battery good for 12 hours. Dad, what are you? Calling dispatch. Getting an update on structural status. I'm keying the radio. Dispatch, this is Weiss. I need current status on north cable array. Over. Static. Then, Weiss, you need to evacuate immediately. North cable is at 93% rated capacity. South cable at 87%. We're projecting full span collapse in. She stops. Papers rustling. 8 minutes. Maybe less. Can you still access the deck cameras? Some of them. Most are down. Why? How many civilians on the bridge? Weiss. How many? Estimated 12 to 15,000. But they're not civilians anymore. You've seen what's happening. The infection rate is. How many are at the quarter span points? Near the towers. Another pause. Maybe 3,000. Concentrated near the Brooklyn barricade. They're trying to break through. Military is holding position, but... Weiss, what are you thinking? What am I thinking? I'm thinking the maintenance access hatches open at 4 locations. Manhattan Tower, quarter span, 3/4 span, Brooklyn Tower. I'm thinking the Brooklyn side hatches are right where the crowd is concentrated. I'm thinking I could open those hatches, guide people down to the structural level, get them off the deck before it collapses. I'm thinking I could save maybe 50 people, maybe 100 if we're fast, maybe 200 if I use both quarter span and tower access points. I'm thinking I'd have to leave Julian alone while I do it. Dispatch, can you unlock the access hatches remotely? What? No, those are manual locks. Key access only. Weiss, you can't be thinking. I have the keys. She uses my first name. That's never happened. Department protocol is always last names. Adam, listen to me. Those people are infected. Even the ones who look normal, the incubation period is anywhere from 2 minutes to 20 minutes. You go up there, you expose yourself, you bring it back to your son. I'm not bringing anyone down. I'm just opening the hatches, showing them where to go. They can evacuate themselves. And when they panic, when they stampede, when the infected ones follow the healthy ones down to your level, I'll manage it. How? Good question. Julian is looking at me, not saying anything, just looking. He's figured out what I'm thinking, what I'm planning. Dad, he says, don't. I'll be fast. 10 minutes. You stay here, near the Brooklyn Tower. Use the emergency egress if the bridge starts to go. Don't wait for me. If you feel the structure shifting, you climb down to the anchorage immediately. Understand? No. Julian. No. I don't understand. You said we're getting off the bridge. You said your job is keeping me safe. Now you're going back? For strangers. For people who are about to die. We're all about to die. The bridge is collapsing. Not if I can reduce the deck load. If I can get 2,000 people off the main span, redistribute the weight to the structural level. You don't know that'll work. I don't. I'm making calculations based on stress models and load tables and 22 years of experience, but I'm guessing. The bridge might collapse anyway. Probably will collapse anyway. The north cable is already failing. The deck is cracking. The resonance harmonics are building toward cascade failure, but it might not. If I reduce the deck load, if I redistribute the weight, if I stop the synchronized footfalls that are driving the resonance frequency, it might hold long enough for people to evacuate. For my son to evacuate. Stay here. I tell him. Right here. Don't move. I'll be back in 8 minutes. Dad. I'm already climbing. Back the way we came. Toward the 3/4 access hatch. The one that opens onto the deck near where the crowd is concentrated. Behind me, Julian is yelling. I don't listen. Can't listen. If I listen, I'll stop, and if I stop, I'll stay with him, and if I stay with him, 3,000 people die on this bridge. Maybe more. Maybe everyone. I'm at the access ladder, climbing up into the tower interior. It's darker here. The tower sections are granite on the outside, steel framework on the inside, and there's only minimal lighting. Emergency bulbs every 20 feet. Half of them burned out years ago and maintenance hasn't replaced them because who's going to see them except inspection crews? I can hear the crowd above me. Not just footsteps anymore. Screaming, crying, that clicking sound, and something else, liquid sounds. People dying on the other side of the access hatch. My hand is on the hatch wheel. Standard 36-inch diameter, same as submarine doors. Takes 2 full rotations to unlock. My hands are shaking. When did they start shaking? I'm an engineer. I don't shake. I calculate loads and stresses and failure points, and I don't shake. I'm turning the wheel. The hatch opens. The first thing I see is a man's face. He's pressed against the hatch opening, trying to push through before it's fully open. He's got normal eyes, normal jaw. There's blood on his shirt, but it's spray pattern, not bite pattern, wrong place, wrong viscosity. Someone else's blood. Please, he's saying. Please, my daughter, she's... Behind him, there's maybe 50 people. Maybe more. packed against the tower section. And behind them, further down the deck, I can see the others. The ones with wrong eyes. The ones making clicking sounds. They're coming this way. I've got maybe 30 seconds before they reach this position. Everyone who can hear me. I'm yelling over the crowd noise. This hatch leads to the structural level. You can evacuate through the tower base. But you need to move now. One at a time. If you push, people fall, and if people fall, we're all stuck. Nobody's listening. Of course, nobody's listening. The infected are coming. People don't form orderly queues when they're about to die. The man pushes through. A woman follows. Then another man. Then everyone's trying to come through at once, and the hatch opening is only 36 inches and people are getting stuck, and someone's screaming because they're caught between two other people and can't move forward or back. This was a mistake. I knew it was a mistake. I'm blocking the hatch now, trying to control the flow, trying to pull people through one at a time. But there's too many of them and they're panicking, and a woman makes it through. She's carrying something. Not something. Someone. A kid. 4 years old, maybe. 5. The kid's face is buried in her shoulder. "Thank you," she's saying. "Thank you. Oh God. Thank you. Go." I point down the access ladder. Follow the walkway to the Brooklyn Tower. Emergency egress at the base. "Go now," she goes. The kid never looks up. Probably better that way. Probably better if that kid never sees what's up here on the deck. More people are coming through. 15, 20, 25. Each one I pull through is one less person who dies when the deck collapses. One less person whose blood drips through the stress cracks. The infected reach the hatch. I see her coming. Middle-aged woman, business casual. Glasses hanging from her neck on one of those beaded chains. Her mouth is red. Her eyes are wrong. She's pushing through the crowd. Not around them. Through them. Shoving people aside like they weigh nothing. She's 10 feet from the hatch. 8 feet. 6 feet. The man in front of her turns around. Sees her. Tries to push back. She grabs his arm. Pulls it toward her mouth. I'm slamming the hatch. Spinning the wheel. Locking it. The man's arm is caught in the seal. Just his hand. Wrist to fingertips. I can see it through the gap. See the woman's teeth sink into his wrist. See him try to pull away. See the flesh tear. I finish locking the hatch. The hand stays inside. The arm gets pulled back out. There's blood on the hatch seal. On my hands. On the steel floor where I'm standing. 25 people. That's all I saved. 25 out of 3,000. And I just locked the rest out to die. Move! I'm yelling at the 25 who made it through. Down the ladder. Now. Bridge is collapsing. Some of them move. Some of them are frozen. Staring at me. At the blood on my hands. At the hatch where we can hear the crowd on the other side. Pounding, screaming, begging to be let in. A young guy, college-age, NYU hoodie steps toward the hatch. We have to open it again. There's more people. The infected are at the hatch. We open it, they come through. So we pull people through fast. Before the infected. We tried that. It doesn't work. They panic. They jam the hatch. Everyone dies. So we just leave them? Yes. He's looking at me like I'm the monster. Maybe I am. Maybe the monster is the guy who locks the hatch with 3,000 people on the wrong side. Maybe that's what I am now. The bridge lurches. Hard. The whole structure shifting. Not 3 inches this time, maybe 6, maybe more. People scream. Someone falls off the walkway. I don't see who. Don't hear them hit the water. Too much other noise. Move or die. I'm pushing people toward the ladder. You want to stand here debating ethics. You do it while you fall into the East River. They move. Finally. Down the ladder onto the narrow walkway toward the Brooklyn Tower. The woman with the 4-year-old is in front. The college kid in the NYU hoodie is last. He keeps looking back at the hatch. At the pounding on the other side. I'm following them. I should be leading. I know this bridge, know every stress point and access route, but I need to be last. Need to make sure nobody falls behind. Need to make sure if something comes through that hatch, I'm between it and the civilians. Between it and Julian. Julian. I left him at the Brooklyn Tower. Told him 8 minutes. It's been 12. Maybe 15. How long has it been? My watch says 4:17 p.m. We started at 3:47. That's 30 minutes. No, that can't be right. Feels like hours. Feels like days. The walkway ahead clears. The 25 are moving faster now. Good. The Brooklyn Tower is 200 yards ahead. I can see it through the framework. See the emergency egress route. See. Julian. He's not at the Brooklyn Tower. He's on the walkway. Coming toward me. Coming back. Julian. I told you to stay. The egress is blocked. He's running. Stumbling. Almost falls but catches himself on the cable housing. The Brooklyn side, the military blocked the egress hatch. Welded it shut. Nobody can get down. No, that's not. They wouldn't block the emergency egress. That's against every protocol, every safety regulation. They would if they're treating this as a contamination event. They would if their orders are to contain at all costs. They would if they've decided everyone on this bridge is already infected, already dead, already lost. They would if they're planning to let the bridge collapse with everyone still on it. The woman with the 4-year-old reaches the Brooklyn Tower, sees the welded hatch, starts pounding on it, screaming for someone to open it. Nobody opens it. The hatch stays sealed. We're trapped. All of us, 25 civilians, my son, and me, trapped on a bridge that's collapsing, with 3,000 infected on the deck above us, with military barricades on both ends, with 6 minutes, maybe less, before the north cable fails completely and the whole span goes into the river. I'm looking at Julian, at the civilians clustered around the welded hatch, at the tower stretching up into the smoke-filled sky. The tower. Up. I say, what? We're going up. Everyone. The tower. Now. The college kid looks at me like I've lost it. Up where? Up to the deck? Where the infected are. Up to the top. To the cable saddle. Above the deck. And then what? Good question. The cable saddle is 276 feet above the water. It's where the main cables pass over the tower top. It's designed to carry 5,000 tons of cable tension. It's not designed to be an evacuation platform. There's no way down from there except back the way we came or over the side, into the water. 276 feet down. That's a survivable fall. Barely. If you enter feet first. If you don't hit debris. If the impact doesn't rupture your organs or snap your spine. If the current doesn't pull you under. If you can swim to shore before hypothermia sets in. It's November, water temperature maybe 50 degrees. Maybe 1 in 10 survive that fall. Maybe 1 in 20, but staying on the bridge is 0 in 10. Climb? I tell them. All of you. There's a maintenance ladder inside the tower. Goes all the way to the top. When you get there, wait for my signal. Then jump. Jump. The woman with the 4-year-old. I'm not jumping with. Then stay here and die. Your choice. The bridge lurches again. This time I hear it. The sound of metal separating, cables snapping, rivets shearing. Somewhere up on the deck, a vehicle falls through the gap in the collapse section. I see it through the tower framework. A taxi, yellow against the gray water, tumbling end over end. It hits the water and disappears. People are climbing. The college kid. The woman, she's handed her 4-year-old to someone else. Some stranger who's climbing with the kid on his back. The others. All of them heading up the tower's internal ladder. Julian is looking at me. Dad, we can't jump from that height. The water. I know. Then why? Because maybe one of them survives. Maybe 2. Maybe the kid survives. Better than 0. What about us? That's the question. What about us? What about my 12-year-old son who's never jumped off anything higher than the community pool diving board? What about me, 47 years old, knees shot from climbing ladders for 22 years, carrying 30 pounds of equipment in a toolkit I won't be able to bring with me? What about the choice I'm making right now? Save strangers who might survive the jump, or save my son by keeping him down here where we might find another way off this bridge before it collapses. There is no other way. I know that. I've inspected every inch of this bridge. There's no secret access route, no emergency boat pickup, no miracle solution. There's the deck, which is collapsing. There's the structural level, which goes into the water when the deck does. There's the towers, which stay standing. And there's the water below. Jump or die. Those are the options. We're jumping, I tell Julian. Both of us. Together. I can't. You can. You will. I'll show you how. Feet first, arms tight to your sides. Land flat-footed like we're stomping on something. The water's going to hit hard, harder than anything you've felt. But you hold your breath, you don't panic, you swim for the surface. Soon as you break surface, you swim for Brooklyn Shore. Don't wait for me. Don't look for me. Just swim. Dad. And if I don't make it, if something happens to me, you swim to shore, you find the DSNY depot on Water Street, the garbage facility, you know the one, you tell them you're my son, you tell them to call dispatch. They'll take care of you. Your mother will come get you. Okay? Dad, I don't want to. Julian, listen to me. I'm holding his shoulders, looking at his face, memorizing it in case this is the last time. In case I hit the water wrong, in case the current takes me, in case one of us makes it and one of us doesn't. You're the smartest, bravest kid I know. You're going to survive this. You're going to tell people what happened here. You're going to make sure what I did, what we did, means something. Understand. He's crying. When did he start crying? I didn't notice. Haven't noticed anything except the structural failure, the stress calculations, the evacuation math. I understand, he says. Good. Let's go. We're climbing. The tower ladder is vertical, straight up the interior of the granite and steel framework. Below us, the structural level is empty now. Everyone else is already climbing. Above us, I can see them, 24 people, counting the 4-year-old on the stranger's back. 25 counting us makes 27. 27 people I might save. The deck is 50 feet below us now. 70 feet. 100 feet. I can see through the tower framework to the main span. The north cable has separated. Not completely. Maybe 30% of the strands are still intact, but it's unraveling, individual wires popping free one at a time, each one making a sound like a gunshot. The south cable is taking all the load now. Both sides. The entire bridge suspended from one cable that's already at 90% capacity. When it goes when the deck drops straight down. 17,000 tons of concrete and steel and vehicles and bodies, all falling into the East River. The structural level goes with it. Anyone still down there dies. Anyone on the deck dies. Anyone who didn't climb the towers dies. We're at 150 feet now. I can see the deck below us. The crowd. Thousands of them. Most are infected now. I can see it in the way they move, jerking, twitching, that inhuman coordination. But some are still normal. Still human. Still alive. They're looking up at us. At the people climbing the tower. At the only visible escape route from this collapsing bridge. They're trying to climb too. I see them at the base of the tower, trying to find the access hatch, trying to get into the interior. Some of them figure it out. Open the hatch. Start climbing. They're gonna follow us up. All of them. The infected and the uninfected both. They're gonna crowd the tower, overload the ladder cause people to fall, and the south cable snaps. I see it happen. One moment it's there, holding 17,000 tons. The next moment it's not. The cable whips through the air, severing everything in its path. Light poles, suspension ropes, people. The deck doesn't fall, it disintegrates. Sections breaking apart mid-air. Vehicles tumbling through the gaps. Bodies falling like rain. The tower shudders. Stays standing. The towers always stay standing. That's what Roebling designed. That's what 140 years has proven. The cables can fail, the deck can collapse, but the towers remain. The sound. That's what I'll remember. Not the visual. I've seen building collapses before, seen demolitions, seen structures fail. But the sound. Metal screaming. Concrete grinding. Water displacement when the deck hits the river. And under it all, voices. Thousands of voices. Ending. Julian has stopped climbing. He's frozen on the ladder, looking down at what used to be the bridge. Don't look, I tell him. Climb. We're almost there. We're at 200 feet. The cable saddle is 50 feet above us. I can see the civilians at the top. They made it. All 25. They're clustered on the saddle platform, looking down at the water, at the wreckage, at us. Below us, the tower hatch opens. People pour through. Dozens of them. Maybe hundreds. All trying to climb at once. The ladder isn't rated for that. It's rated for 2 people, maybe 3 if they're not moving simultaneously. This is 20 people. 30 people. More. The bottom section of the ladder tears free from the wall mounting. I hear them fall. Hear them hit the structural level, the water, the debris. Hear them scream. Hear the clicking sounds. Some of the infected made it onto the ladder. They're falling too. We're climbing faster. Julian in front. Me behind. The ladder is vibrating under our hands. Too much weight, too much dynamic load. This is what happens when you exceed design parameters. This is what I've been calculating for 22 years. This is why we have weight limits, capacity ratings, inspection schedules. This is why I should have gotten my son off this bridge the moment dispatch called. We're at the cable saddle. The civilians pull Julian up. Then me. We're standing on a platform 276 feet above the East River. The bridge is gone. Just gone. The towers remain. Manhattan Tower, Brooklyn Tower, standing like grave markers in the middle of the wreckage. Below us, people are still climbing. The infected and the uninfected. They're halfway up the tower. Coming for the saddle. Coming for us. Jump! I'm yelling at the civilians. Everyone jump. Now! The college kid goes first. Doesn't hesitate. Just climbs onto the saddle edge and drops. I watch him fall feet first, good form, textbook entry. He hits the water and disappears. 5 seconds later, he surfaces. Starts swimming for Brooklyn Shore. The woman with the 4-year-old is next. The stranger who carried the kid hands him to her. She's crying. The kid is crying. She looks at me. Together, I tell her, hold him tight, feet first, deep breath before you hit. Swim for shore immediately. She jumps. She's screaming all the way down. They hit the water, surface. They're alive. They're swimming. Others are jumping now, one at a time. Some of them survive the fall. Some don't. I see one man hit wrong, belly flop from 276 feet. He doesn't surface. I see a woman enter perfectly, but the current takes her under before she can swim. Gone. Maybe half of them make it. Maybe. The infected reach the saddle. There's 6 of them. They're pulling themselves onto the platform, making those clicking sounds. Their eyes wrong. Their movements wrong. They see us. Start moving toward us. Julian is behind me. He's at the edge of the platform. The water is below him. The infected are in front of him. I'm standing between them, between my son and the things that used to be human. Julian, I say, don't turn around. Can't turn around. When I say jump, you jump. Don't wait. Don't think. Just go. Not without you. You're going to jump and you're going to swim and you're going to survive. That's an order. The infected are 10 feet away. 8 feet. 6 feet. Julian. Jump. Dad. Jump. I hear him go over the edge. Hear him hit the water. Don't hear if he surfaces. Can't hear anything except the clicking sounds. The infected are reaching for me. I'm stepping back. There's no more platform behind me. Just air. Just the drop. The water hits like concrete. Like being hit by a truck. Every bone in my body wants to break. My ribs, my lungs empty. The cold is immediate, that 50-degree water temperature, that instant hypothermia shock. Don't know which way is up. Everything is dark. Everything hurts. Surface. I need to surface. I'm swimming up, I think it's up. My lungs are burning. My clothes are heavy. My toolkit, still on my belt, 30 pounds of tools pulling me down. I'm unbuckling the belt, letting it go. 22 years of tools. The Fluke thermal imager, the Streamlight flashlight, the Klein screwdrivers, all gone. Sinking into the East River, I surface, gasping. The air tastes like smoke and diesel. I'm looking for Julian. Can't see him. Too much debris in the water. Pieces of the bridge. Bodies. Julian. No answer. Just water sounds. Helicopter sounds. The hum of military boats approaching the wreckage. Julian. There. 20 yards away. He's swimming. Not strong, his form is bad, his pace is slow, but he's swimming. He's alive. I'm swimming toward him. Every stroke hurts. My ribs are cracked, probably. My left ankle is sprained or broken. I hit the water wrong, didn't land feet first like I told Julian to do. But I'm swimming. I reach him. Grab his arm. I've got you. Don't stop. Keep swimming. I thought you. Swim. We're swimming toward Brooklyn. The shore is maybe 300 yards away. Maybe more. The current is pulling us downriver. We're not going to make straight to shore. We're going to drift. End up half a mile downstream near the Red Hook container port. That's fine. That's survivable. As long as we keep swimming. As long as the military boats don't decide we're infected. As long as the hypothermia doesn't shut down our muscles before we reach land. As long as we survive the next 10 minutes. Behind us, the towers stand. Both of them. Empty now. The bridge gone. The people gone. Thousands of them. Dead or infected or swimming or drowned. I don't know how many survived. Don't know how many I saved. Don't know if opening that hatch was the right choice, or if I just gave the infected another route to spread, another way to contaminate Brooklyn. Don't know if I'm infected. If Julian's infected, if we're carrying it with us to shore. Don't know anything except we're swimming, we're alive, and my son is beside me. That's enough. That has to be enough. The FDNY pulled us out near the Red Hook grain terminal. Julian first, then me. They had hazmat protocols, plastic sheeting, decontamination spray, the kind of chemical smell that stays in your throat for days. We stripped down to underwear right there on the dock while they hosed us with whatever solution they decided might kill the virus. Nobody knew if it worked. Nobody knew how the infection spread. Touch, saliva, airborne, water transmission. Every report contradicted the last one. They separated us. That's what I remember most from that first hour. Julian going into one decontamination trailer, me into another. Him looking back at me, not saying anything, just looking, like he thought that was the last time he'd see me. Maybe it should have been. We tested negative. Both of us. 14 days quarantine at Floyd Bennett Field, the old airfield they turned into an emergency containment facility. 14 days in separate chain-link enclosures with cots and chemical toilets and armed National Guard watching us around the clock. Watching for symptoms. Watching for that wrongness in the eyes, that clicking sound, that sudden movement pattern that means human becomes something else. Julian was in enclosure 47B. I was in 48A. Close enough to see him through the chain link, but not close enough to touch. Not close enough to talk except by yelling, which the guards didn't allow. We had notebooks instead. He'd write something, usually just, "I'm okay," and hold it up to the fence. I'd write back, "Me too." Sometimes, "I love you." Sometimes nothing, because what else is there to write when you're alive and 12,000 people aren't? 12,000. That's the official count from the Brooklyn Bridge collapse. Most died in the initial structural failure. Some drowned. Some were shot by military containment units. Some made it to shore and died anyway because they were infected and the virus finished what the bridge started. 23 people survived the jump from the cable saddle. 23 out of 27. Better odds than I calculated. The woman with the 4-year-old made it. The college kid in the NYU hoodie made it. The others, I don't have names for them. Don't know their stories. Just know they're alive because I opened that hatch. Because I saved 25 people instead of 0. Also know that 3,000 people died on the other side of that hatch. The ones I locked out. The ones who pounded on the steel while I sealed the wheel and walked away. I can still hear them pounding. That's the thing nobody tells you about making those choices. You don't just remember it. You hear it. Every quiet moment. Every time I'm falling asleep. The sound of fists on steel. The sound of people who died because I decided they weren't worth saving. Because that's what I decided. Isn't it? When I locked that hatch. When I pulled 25 people through and sealed the rest out. I decided. Me. Not the virus. Not the military. Me. Julian doesn't talk about it. We got out of quarantine 3 weeks ago. He's staying with me now. His mother decided Brooklyn was too close to the quarantine zone. Decided Manhattan was safer even though Manhattan is where the infection started. Where the initial outbreak killed 40,000 people before they got it contained. But she's living in a high-rise on the Upper East Side with her Deloitte husband. And I'm in a rent-controlled 2-bedroom in Sunset Park with a bridge inspector's salary. And family court decided she provides the more stable environment. He comes for weekends. We don't talk about the bridge. Don't talk about the jump. Don't talk about the sound of the deck collapsing or the people falling or the infected climbing the tower ladder. We talk about school. He's doing remote learning now, everyone is. And we talk about his mom, and we talk about nothing that matters. Last weekend, he asked me if I'm still inspecting bridges. I am. They reassigned me to the Williamsburg. The Brooklyn Bridge is gone. They're salvaging what they can from the wreckage. But the main structure is a total loss. 17,000 tons of steel and stone at the bottom of the East River. They're talking about rebuilding. 5 years minimum. Maybe 10. Maybe never. Who's gonna want to cross a bridge where 12,000 people died? The Williamsburg is older than the Brooklyn Bridge. Built in 1903. Same basic design, suspension span, granite towers, steel cable array. I inspect it now. 3 times a week. Looking for stress fractures, cable wear, rivet failure. Looking for anything that says this bridge might do what the Brooklyn Bridge did. Looking for that humming sound. That frequency. That warning I heard 3 weeks ago and ignored because I thought the bridge would hold. Because I thought Roebling's design was indestructible. Because I thought I knew better. I was right about the hum. Wrong about everything else. There's an investigation. Federal, state, city. Everyone wants to know why the bridge collapsed. Why the military sealed both ends. Why the evacuation protocols failed. Why 12,000 people died when the infrastructure was supposed to save them. I've testified twice. They want to know about the structural integrity before the collapse. About the stress indicators I was reading. About the maintenance reports I filed about Cable 47B. About why I opened the hatch when containment protocol said to seal all access points. About why I locked the hatch when 3,000 people were still outside. I tell them about load capacity. About resonance harmonics, about synchronized footfalls and cascade failure and all the engineering reasons why that bridge fell. I don't tell them about the sound of fists on steel, about standing there with my hand on the hatch wheel doing the math. 25 people inside who might survive versus 3,000 people outside who might be infected. The calculation, the choice, the thing that makes me something other than human. Julian wrote something in his notebook 2 days ago. Didn't hold it up. Just wrote it and then closed the notebook before I could read it. But I saw the first line. Just the first line through the wire-reinforced window in his bedroom door where I was standing after he'd gone to sleep. My dad saved people. Not my dad saved me. Not my dad is a hero. Just my dad saved people. Present tense. Like it's still happening. Like I'm still making that choice, still turning that hatch wheel, still locking 3,000 people on the wrong side. He doesn't know the rest of it. Doesn't know that 5 of the 25 I pulled through tested positive 3 days into quarantine. Doesn't know they infected 9 others in the containment facility before symptoms showed. Doesn't know that 14 people died at Floyd Bennett Field because I opened that hatch. Doesn't know that the college kid in the NYU hoodie was one of them. Survived the fall. survived the swim, died in quarantine while his family watched through chain link from the observation area. I did that, not the virus. Me. I pulled him through the hatch. I sent him down the ladder. I told him to jump. I saved him so he could die anyway in a chain link cage alone. The city is going to give me a commendation for extraordinary courage in the face of crisis. There's going to be a ceremony, mayor's office, press coverage, photo of me shaking hands with officials while families of the 12,000 stand outside with signs asking why their loved ones died. I'm not going. I told them I'm not going. They said it would provide closure for the community. Closure, like 12,000 deaths close, like you can seal that hatch and walk away clean. Julian wants me to go, says people need to see that someone tried to help, that someone did something instead of just running. He doesn't understand yet. He's 12. He thinks doing something is always better than doing nothing. He'll learn. Eventually he'll calculate what I calculated. 25 saved versus 3,000 dead. 14 positive cases because I opened that hatch. College kid in the NYU hoodie dying in a cage because I told him to climb. Eventually he'll do that math. And he'll understand that his father isn't the person who saved people. His father is the person who chose, who decided some lives matter and others don't, who locked the hatch while people pounded on the other side. His father is the person with blood on the hatch seal, on his hands, on everything he touches. The Williamsburg Bridge is humming. Not loud, not that wrong frequency I heard on the Brooklyn Bridge. Just the normal harmonic resonance from traffic flow, normal wind resistance, normal cable tension. Everything's normal. Everything's fine. I'm standing on maintenance platform 12. Same toolkit, new Klein bag, new Fluke thermal imager, same Streamlight flashlight model because I liked the old one. Everything replaced. Everything the same. The bridge is fine. The readings are normal. There's no structural failure imminent. No evacuation necessary. But I'm hearing it anyway. The sound. Not the bridge humming. The other sound. Fists on steel. 3,000 people who died because I made a choice. Because I did the math. Because I'm the guy who knows bridges better than anyone and thought that knowledge mattered. Thought it made me qualified to decide who lives. Julian's at school. His mother's Upper East Side school, where the kids don't know what it's like to swim through debris in 50-degree water, where nobody's father locked 3,000 people on the wrong side of a hatch, where everything's normal, everything's fine. He asks me every weekend, "Are you okay, Dad?" I tell him I am. That's what you tell your 12-year-old son. That's what you tell the kid who trusted you to save him, who jumped when you said jump, who survived because you made him swim when all he wanted was to wait for you. You tell him you're okay. You tell him everything's fine. You tell him the sound is just normal bridge harmonics, just wind resistance, just the ordinary resonance of infrastructure doing what it's designed to do. You don't tell him you hear them pounding. Every quiet moment, every night, every time you look at a bridge and calculate load capacity and stress distribution and cascade failure scenarios. Every time you do the math and realize that saving some people means choosing which ones die. That's the sound I hear now. On the Williamsburg, on every bridge I'll ever inspect. That's the frequency that never stops. That's the resonance that builds until something breaks. The bridge is fine. The city is rebuilding. The investigation will conclude that structural failure and military containment protocols both contributed to the casualty count. Everyone will share the blame. Everyone will move forward. Everyone except the 12,000. Everyone except the college kid. Everyone except the 3,000 who pounded on that hatch while I turned the wheel. Everyone except me, standing on this bridge, listening to the humming, calculating the math that says I saved 25 people. Calculating the math that says I killed everyone else. Both things are true. Both things are permanent. Both things are the sound I'll hear every day for the rest of my life. The bridge is humming. Everything's normal. Everything's fine. I'm the guy who knows bridges. I'm the guy who made the choice. I'm the guy who lives with the sound. That's all. That's everything. That's what survives when 12,000 people don't.